Wow, it's been 2 months-ish again. Sorry about the lack of uploads, just been focusing on working on the game. We hit 1K subscribers, let's go! It's a huge accomplishment, I'm pretty happy about that. But nah, let's just get into things. So, what are the updates? First things first, I've been hard at work working on the tutorial / opening mission. It's mostly finished. Kind of introduces you to the basic movement, the atmosphere of the world, so what some of the characters are like, some of the game mechanics. It should feel very familiar if you played any movement shooters or just FPS in general, but also has some new changes, and I'm trying to, innovate on the genre a bit. Next things next, we have a huge combat overhaul. More of an expansion, I should say. So, I've tightened up the movement now that I actually have a level to balance the player around, so I've added probably 30 plus new weapons, I want to say, ranging from rifles, pistols, DMR, shotguns, energy weapons, launchers, swords. It just keeps going, so I'm gonna keep adding stuff. Just, I love weapons, I love giving you new ways to experience the combat. Also added a couple new abilities, so I have a new missile launcher, a support weapon, which is like essentially a mounted gun, a new cloak ability where you can go invisible, and I also added a fourth one. It's kind of silly. It's a shield, but like really stupid. You can't shoot while you have it up, but yeah, I'll show you that. Yeah, they all have their own utility, different effects, all that cool stuff. There's some new Sand Eater variations. There's cloaked Sand Eaters. Or even shielded Sand Eaters. Also added a whole new faction. Now we have the Smog, we have the Sand Eaters, and now we have Sentinel and their troops. So, I've gotten AI teamfighting up and going, so you can run in the battlefield and watch you and the homies gun things down. Next, I've added a lot of visual updates on the art side, so I've tried to set the bar for the rest of the game, and I do want things to look, like a whole team worked on it, even though, like I said, it's just me. Hopefully the visuals are at a point where it feels like you're immersed in this world instead of just playing another game. So I even have things like dynamic environments with, sandstorms, radiation zones, and they obviously affect visibility and gameplay. There's also some other stuff in the works that I can't quite talk about too much, but let's just say, bring a friend. Wink wink. Also added some voice acting, so the Smog and some other NPCs actually have voiceover. I'm doing all the voiceover. So it's kind of funny. There's some silly effects. I could show you the before and after post audio editing. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like I said, I'm trying to get this vision I have for the game just like fully realized, and I'm able to just continue building on it every day. So this kind of was a bit of a harder update. I think that at some point, like anyone else goes through, there's just so many different directions you could take things, and you're like, oh my god, I have how many iterations of like the core gameplay loop and all this other stuff. But at this point, I've found one I want to try, one I'm going to commit to, and we'll see. We'll see how y'all receive it. Please, if you think that this is something that you could see yourself playing, and like I said, bring your friends, definitely share the video. Definitely reach out and be like, hey, check this, just drop the link. And like I said, leave comments, let me look at your stuff. It's like really fun to see all of it, because it'll help motivate me to keep working. And I don't know, I might sound a little crazy and ambitious, but like, I don't know, I want to change the direction that like this industry has been headed. You know, I feel like there's been like an overall sentiment that like big studios and big publishers just haven't been delivering, and quite frankly, I haven't really been playing a lot of those larger budget games recently, and that's much of why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So I'm hoping that if all goes well, I can deliver on an experience that's feels premium, but it's like very, very small budget, just to prove that like you don't need insane amounts of money to make something that is high quality. That's pretty much all I've wanted to show. With talent and patience and just consistent effort, like, you're actually able to make a lot. I don't want to say this to be like, oh yeah, indie's better than AAA. No, no, no. I hope this, like, if any like AAA devs are watching this, or people that are industry vets, like, I hope this motivates you guys and your teams to like step it up, because I'm a fucking like pro college student. Like, you want to make bangers. Everybody wants bangers, bro. Playing it safe and doing all this other stuff, and I understand the market's different for those at top, but anyways, I'm rambling. If you want to support the game directly and you're like insanely generous, the Patreon's always active. I have a couple patrons. Yay! Dude, yeah, I have a couple patrons, and I'm pretty happy about that. So I've been able to use the money from that to just have better assets in the game. It lets me just spend more time on making content instead of having to sift through and be like, oh, let me go model everything. No, like, I'm not doing that. I don't have the time for it, and I think that I can get the vision as long as I have just enough to work with. And if that isn't clearly evident, watch the videos, and if you need more footage, like I said, I can post more on Patreon and do all that. Same things, as I've said prior, literally wouldn't be possible without y'all watching this, so you're keeping this project alive, and I'm happy you're here to like watch it unfold. But anyways, that's pretty much it. It's a big overview. This has been, it's been a lot of reflection, I would say, more so than I thought. And it's kind of crazy how much, I guess, how much new stuff is in the project at this point. I'm pretty happy with how it's coming along, and I hope that you are too. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know. I just fucking no script. I might run this shit back.